Back in October, the Bears lost a blowout in their last game against the Vikings. Can Minnesota do it again? The answer comes your way next.
I hope everyone took advantage of the Cyber Monday deals. Now it's time to focus on some football. Bears and Vikings underway on Monday night. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out, a two-year starter at Ohio State and second overall pick in the draft, C.J. Stroud.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw one touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Reload, check, no.
They'll run again here with Robinson. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. You look at this Bears defense. Against the pass, just numbers that they haven't liked. Number 30 in the league right now.
You know, when actors get ready for a scene, they often ask the question, what's my motivation? But what's the motivation of this group? What's their mindset? What's the problem that they have? Will they create an identity that allows them to get better?
Great first drive defensively. 3rd and short, able to stuff the run.
And what it does is it gives not just confidence to your defensive players, it gives an overall feeling of, okay, we've established things here early. We can carry this throughout the game.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Here comes Rager. It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give him a good 10 yards on the return. And the Bears take over. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. They're brought out by a man now in his 15th NFL season, one of the most productive passers in league history, and a former Super Bowl champion, Matthew Stafford.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
From the gun, here's Stafford. That's over the middle and caught by Ayuk. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have the Bears' first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. And incomplete. A drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Yeah, he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Once he broke through that first wave of defenders, there was a pretty big gap there for him to run.
And it helps that they were in a dime defense. That's 6 defensive backs. So this is why a lot of teams now are searching for those linebacker safety combo type guys who can add a little bit more size on the defensive side of the ball, but can still run as well, because when you run against 6 DBs with some bigger offensive linemen, you often get this result.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll send Watson in motion right. Eckler now between the tackles. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. That is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Traylon Burks His second touchdown on the season. And the Bears put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that makes the score 7-0. The Bears send the kicking team out there, and they will send this one away. Now it's Wilson. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They got to take care of business first.
That one good for 37 yards.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Unlock line. Check. Panther. Roll.
Here's Stroud. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. The Vikings had 5 and 6 to start play. And they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer.
Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Aleem McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. Second and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
Let's go now.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Throwing now is Stroud. Here's a screen for Robinson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. Fair catch taken right at the 10-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing, and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a toss, running left, Eckler. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebacker. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier and knock him down for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be out right at the 35. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Running on 1st down, Eckler. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 67 yards.
And I know that last week's game is over, but this feels almost like a continuation of what he did in the previous game. It's almost if in his mind he knitted together the 2 weeks with no break. He's off to a nice start here.
He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. 3rd and 3. After 7-0 on EA Sports. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. The offense on third down tonight, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This time it's 3rd and 3. On the screen, this is Eckler. And he will have the Bears first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
And that's a gutsy call there on 3rd and short, because that's a play that's got a good chance of being blown up in the backfield for a big loss of yardage. But nice job out wide to gather in that screen pass, use his blockers well, and pick up the first down.
And Watson has it right side. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. From the 46, here's 2nd and 3. Stafford now to throw. That's caught. It's Dan Arnold, the tight end. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 30. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Throw to the right, caught by Dulcich. And they move this all the way down to the 9. And a nice gain of 21 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. On the option, here's Eckler. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Back to throw. Stafford. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Austin Eckler. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You've just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Extra point up and good by Dicker. And it's now 14-0. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And Austin Eckler capped it off with the touchdown reception. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From his end zone, Wilson powering his way forward. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week. And you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
Ready, go.
Stroud now on 2nd down. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Deshaun Hand breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7. A tough spot here. 3rd and 15. Now Stroud. And that will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
37 yards on the punt with no return, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. This is caught by his tight end, Logan Thomas. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down. To throw is Stafford. Short throw caught by Dosich. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And he couldn't get that one to his man. Short of him, it's low and incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Zebra.
Throwing again is Stafford. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. Stafford. And that one too wide and incomplete. This Minnesota D up to the task on the 3rd down pass play.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will remain a 2-touchdown game.
And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one from 56 yards, you know everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the fat part of the ball just right, it's unlikely to go through. And that one winds up no good.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Stroud looking to throw. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got to step on them. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
On first down, here's Stroud. And that one to the right side and incomplete. These two teams matching up for the 2nd time this year. Their first meeting back in October, week 6. And it was the Vikings who won that one on the road, so they'll look for the sweep here in Minneapolis. The throwing again is Stroud. Phillips has it running the out route. And they're going to have a first down, and they're in field goal range as well as they're down inside the 20. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And Stroud now to throw. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kaiser White. And the Bears are going to get the football back at their own 17.
Well, Brandon, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to get with the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
Well, the Bears going to take over now late in this first half. And with a 14-0 lead, they may just try to get this to the locker room. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Big 20.
On first down, it's Stafford. And complete once again to Watson. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Stafford's throw is on target to Burks. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 44-yard line. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Stafford on first down. And this one is incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. And it'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be fourth down. And he missed it. It's no good. And this will remain a 2-touchdown game.
One of the few things that hasn't gone right in this first half. They had a chance there for late points, but this one winds up off the mark.
Final play of the half. Stroud taking a shot here for Marshall. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Dak Prescott, terrific in the win, as his guys up their mark to 7-4 with the victory. We'll stay in the NFC East as we head down to the great state of Texas to check on the Cowboys at home at A.T.S Stadium. And they were winners in that ball game as they beat the visiting Washington Commanders. Patrick Mahomes leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get you way up to Seattle. See what's happening with the Seahawks. And it was the visiting San Francisco 49ers that come in and get the victory. Anthony Richardson, sharp in the victory, as his guys get back within a game of 500.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. A 2-touchdown game, 14-0 the score as we get rolling again here in this second half. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
And yet again, he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. Throwing on third down, Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, it's too early to figure out what kind of adjustments this defense made at halftime, but that's a good start to the second half. They cannot afford to give up more points and fall further behind, so well done to force the punting situation here.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return, and it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here's Stroud. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. And they get him to the ground quickly, but he's out near midfield at the 49-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Handoff now to Robinson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Escapes the defender. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 32-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Stroud. Pass complete there to Nakua. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it'll be 2nd down. On the give, here's Robinson. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Stroud out of the gun here. That is caught, and they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football.
But Matt Eberflus clearly in disagreement with that last call, and he's going to throw the challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. Escaping the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Holding offense.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Cowboy 80.
Stroud. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hudson. It'll go down as a gain of 6. 3rd and 7 now. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Stroud on 3rd down now. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Chicago offense set to get started. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
One play has them to the 37 here for 1st and 10. They'll send Watson in motion right. They'll try the jet sweep. Stafford pops it forward. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 46. A timeout for an injured player, and it looks like it's Traylon Burks who's in some discomfort out there. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. 2 yards to go, second down. Up the middle with Eckler. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. From the 50 at Stafford. They'll complete this one to Watson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Stafford. He'll drop this one off to Eckler. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up second down. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. From the 35, here's 2nd and 6. It's Bears football here. They also have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, that's a good piece of quarterbacking right there because he certainly felt the pressure coming. The alternative, getting sacked for the first time. He didn't like that option at all. Did a nice job saving yardage by throwing that one away.
Now Stafford. Oh, what a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
He dumps it to Eckler underneath. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Roughing the passer, defense.
What's he talking about, man? Ready.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. To throw is Stafford. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. The sack sets him back a full 10 yards there on 1st and goal.
1st and goal looked like things were set up nicely, and now all of a sudden on 2nd and goal, Charles, a big challenge ahead of them.
And you have to know when you're this close to the goal line, things are going to happen faster, so you've got to get the ball out quick. Not going to have much time in the pocket before the defenders bring pressure.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Now it's Stafford. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That
Pass
might be PI.
Defense.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
On 2nd down, Eckler. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him. Cameron Dicker on now to try the field goal. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3.
So that, maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Hey, alert!
Second down and a run by Robinson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. Robinson gets the toss on the right side. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. 4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Stroud. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. Onto the field now come the Bears. But they can thank their defense for another stop, and now look at the score, where they've got the football. They're looking pretty good.
They're looking excellent because now you're thinking to yourself, let's just take some time off the clock. Work it down, and of course, you put another touchdown on the board, you can pretty much say bye-bye to this one.
Play calling here can be a little bit more conservative because of the lead.
A little bit more conservative. The biggest thing, everyone understands how to get the ball downfield and how to stay in bounds and make sure the clock keeps running.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. It's Eckler again. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Vikings, they come up big down near the goal line.
I remember being taught that cliches have become so for a reason. A lot of times they're true, right? What's that they used to tell us about letting sleeping dogs lie? Well, this one wasn't sleeping. Maybe it was just slumbering a little bit. But taking that gamble there, you've got the lead. You may have ignited them now they stopped you.
That's exactly right. If you take the points here, you don't shift momentum necessarily on that play. You probably just did. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they've certainly had trouble unlocking this defense through 3.5 quarters. So I don't expect it to get any easier now. You know they're going to be sitting back and waiting on everything, and they force an incompletion there.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
He's going to let it fly. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And this is 4-down territory here. They know down 2 scores at this late stage, 10-yard passes aren't going to do it. So they took the shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
Stroud to throw it. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
We got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Now a timeout called for by the defense. Back to throw, Stafford. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
And his kick is indeed good. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
From his end zone, Wilson. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. And now out comes Minnesota. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. 1st and 10, it's Stroud. Caught out left side by Robinson.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Ready.
4th down, Stroud going to try to throw for it. He's got his target. That's complete. He's to the 15. Touchdown, Vikings. Terrace Marshall, 76 yards. And the Vikings are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Well, with that touchdown pass, I'm going to bring up a point from earlier in the year. Some of the fans were saying, when do we turn to the rookie? Well, he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I love the fact that the fans are bringing that up because I'm not the head coach, okay? So he's got to deal with it. But I think it's a legitimate question. With the way their season is going, I think now is the time to turn the page and let him get some starts before this season is over.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. Stafford down to a knee, and with it, he's going to ensure his guys a victory. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And I tell you what, one thing that you and I featured as a storyline was that they were facing the NFL's #1 defense coming in, and they really took it right to them.
Yeah, they didn't blink, did they? And instead of just saying to themselves, let's make sure that we minimize our mistakes and try and play a conservative type game, they attacked right from the beginning. Said, we got to go after these guys. I think sometimes you take the #1 rated defense by surprise when you do that.
So for the Bears, the playoffs may be out of reach, but the win gets them to 4-8 on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead, they fall to 5-7. And they'll get the extra week to think about this one as they return to action in 2 weeks' time. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.